if used correctly.
The wind behind Bedford Blues, a shower of rain earlier on. Dean Richards is the referee this afternoon, fully equipped with a whistle and ref cam. The two sides coming into this season from different ends of the spectrum, both desperate to chalk up their first W for Ealing, their first ever in the Greek King IPA Championship. And we're underway here, this famous old ground with a slope that Ealing will be playing down into. Fenton Wells. First game back at the club, dual register with Samson, of course. The South African was phenomenal last week in the British and Irish Cup game.
Step away. Don't
and straight away, Paul Tupai into the action there with a massive carry, but he was chopped down at the ankles. The referee saying illegally done. Very, very brave, you'd have to say, though, from the Ealing defender.
Penalty.
Check Sharp. Fly half, who's plenty of work on his fitness over the season. Just a fair bit of timber. You have to excuse the guy, though. His girlfriend runs a cake-making business.
Line's yours, White. Line is yours.
I understand why I might be tempted to have a cake or two, but he's firing on all cylinders, and the impetus that Michael Le Bourgeois, of course, a fly half himself, coming to the club, really focuses Jake Sharp's mind.
Hold. Good.
Started 3 of the 4 games so far. Jake Sharp there just bumped off in the tackle.
Advantage over.
There's Carey, Connor Carey. A tight head for Ealing. There's Ward, head coach, captain, fly half. And Le Bourgeois, so often a fly half for Jersey. Last season, 159 points from his boot. Season with a survived Jersey. Down to Plymouth Albion at home yesterday, didn't they? There's Pritchard, now the leading point scorer for Canada. James Pritchard reached that milestone, overtook Gareth Rees, of course, in the summer. Tarpe is a big ball carrier for Ealing. Many of these players just semi-professional. Have 3 training sessions during the week in the evenings and a couple of sessions during the day. Those players unable to make it due to work commitments. Not ideal preparations. Aurelio Campo.
Thank you.
Had some time at Leicester, played in the LV Cup for Leicester. There's the club captain, Pierre Cannon. Thompson playing down the hill, this famous hill. I was told once it was over a metre drop from the right-hand corner down to the far left-hand corner. There's Anderson, TJ Anderson. They have got a little bit out of their performances in the British and Irish Cup. Ealing Trailfinders over the last couple of weeks, went over to Leinster. TJ Anderson scored a try. They would have liked that, going back to his home country.
Yeah, and I guess a funny start really from Ealing. Huge win behind them, slope in their favour, and they're battering away in the midfield here when really I think they just expect their 10 to put his boot on it, get him down in the corner and just put Bedford under some pressure. This is exactly what Bedford want right now. They're nice and fresh. They're lining them up with some big old tackles, and Ealing going nowhere. Must be sensible about things, and you know, your 10 is your head coach. He should have, I guess, looked at the conditions, looked at where he wants to play on this pitch, and should be using it.
Yeah, Ben Ward, the fly half and head coach for Ealing Trailfinders. Marrying a hockey international next summer. Plenty of jokes whether he might win an international cap or not. And he's been there through the leagues in this dramatic rise up through the national leagues to this England's second-tier competition.
Free kick.
Free kick against Bedford, and set piece has been an issue in various games this season. Here is Ward putting boot on ball. But it'll be a Bedford line-out, of course. And
yeah, I don't think they'll mind that too much. That's much more like it. Get them down here, make Bedford play out of here. Don't forget, Bedford aren't exactly brimming with confidence right now. a good win last week for them, but they're still very fragile, and I think it's important for Ealing just to get down there, as he has done here, and put the pressure on, and just see right now in the early stages how the Bedford set piece holds up to it.
Claire, the best throw, but wins the ball back, something that Neil Cochrane, of course, now playing at Wasps, did so often.
Advantage over.
He knocked up the line out thread so often when the ball back was an open side, wasn't it? Neil Cochrane before moving to hooker, now playing at Wasps with Josh Bassett, of course, both involved in the Challenge Cup. One against Bayard, almost intercepted, but it's Le Bourgeois who comes away for Bedford. Baldwin now, just half stopped. Good tackle by McLean. Thought for a moment that Ealing had intercepted there and it would have been an easy 5-pointer, not a 7-pointer, but as it was, Michael Le Bourgeois managed to take the ball into the Ealing half.
Yeah, high-risk stuff, isn't it? Big, loopy passes, so nearly intercepted. Le Bourgeois off on a run, and you just feel it was the wrong ball to give. There was a man in support just outside him. Had he have just made the easy pass, and that was fingertip stuff right there. Could have been 7-0 to Ealing, but you can see the man just inside him there. Just a nice, easy pass. Keeps everybody back in play, as it was Pritchard with the mistake in the kick.
Sam Wilkes to Anderson.
No, backwards.
Made such a big impression since joining in the summer. TJ Anderson, who made vice-captain, was captain against Leinster in the British and Irish Cup game we were speaking about.
Holding 5 in through
Bedford
the
with the penalty. We were talking about the pressure on Bedford. No one expects Ealing to win here, but there's pressure on Ealing playing down the slope in this first half.
I mean, listen, pressure's a funny thing, isn't it? The weather conditions are fairly poor. It's slippy after a little downpour just before the game kicked off. So kind of everything, and you know there's going to be some tension out there today because it means an awful lot to both teams. I think today, really, from Ealing's perspective, they've got Bedford who are directly above them, and then a week later they've got Moseley. You know, these next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely crucial to their destiny in this league.
So they are Moseley in 11th, Bedford in 10, Ealing in 12th. They could win the line-outs. Darren Furt is a big man. Sasha Harding, virtually a year out, broke his leg and dislocated his ankle last December. Absolutely raring to go, of course, for that injury to Darren Fox. Here's Fenton Wells.
Move!
Baldwin in there, and one of these dual registered players with Saracen. Sharp looks inside to Sasha Harding. Sharp again, little chip through rather rugby league style. Thompson is there.
Taken over, scrum 5.
Taken back over, 5-metre scrum. The scrum have had no option there. It's a neat little kick from Jake Sharp.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it? He saw no one in behind. Nice bit of cover from the 9 to bail them out of it. But it's all Bedford pressure at the moment.
Guys,
Sharp pulling the strings, and it's coming from their big forwards who are carrying really well around the fringes. Just seem to be keeping the ball alive, making 1 or 2 metres, just getting Ealing on the back foot, and it's those small exchanges round the ruck that I think are going to be very, very important in this game.
8's on.
Yeah, you look at the likes of Darren Fern and Paul Tupai, Mike Howard as well, Sasha Harding, Tom Barrow. There's ball carries there for Bedford, and will take that ball up around the fringes, as you say, Pat.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got to use them, and they are doing it at the moment, and when they do, they look good. I think, you know, Sasha Harding coming in over Fox, I don't think they missed too much there. I think Sasha Harding is an excellent number 7, and has been brilliant for Bedford over the years.
His 12th year at the club, the open side.
6, get on the second row.
And a real show-stopping tackler, I should say, as well, capable of putting anybody on their back foot.
Stay on 6.
Fenton Wells controlling. Scrum winning round, penalty to Bedford.
No.
They're practicing this on Thursday night, Bedford. Martin Hines, assistant coach of Bedford.
Must stay on.
The scrums, but it's a weighty front row.
I don't think this is a particularly difficult decision to make. scrum again. You know, it was a fantastic scrum from Bedford. They obviously believe they've got the edge here, and it's really been the story of Ealing's season so far. They just can't get that set piece going, and if Bedford have scented blood already at scrum time, they'll be very worried.
Crouch!
And more of the same to the weakness.
Fine!
And at Palace Way.
No.
In some games, they're recording only 25% return on their own set piece. You just simply cannot win games of rugby when you have that sort of return from your set piece.
No, and you know, the defence has taken a hammering as a result of that. You know, their systems are pretty good in defence. You watch them, they get around the corner pretty well. They stick their tackles where they can, but ultimately, if 75% of the time you've not got the ball, it's very, very difficult to sustain that for the full 80.
No.
Conceded 29 tries so far this season. Ealing scored only 3, 2 of those against the Cornish Pirates. But they have played some of the big boys' leads away. 63 points to 4. Rotherham away, Cornish Pirates at home.
Still.
Yet to play the likes of London Welsh and Bristol.
Set. Yes, 9.
Bedford deciding to take the scrum from the penalty. That's uneasy for Fenton Wells, but uses that strength. Cannon, great tackle from the blind side for Ealing. Well, here come Bedford again.
Still playing the advantage.
Referee's arm is up, advantage is there. Baldwin. Thought he saw a chink in the armour. Carey with a good tackle from the tight head.
Release!
This is going to go wide, is it? Fenton Wells again, no way through.
No, don't go through.
Ollie Dodge is way out on the left-hand side. Sharp seeing him now. Great score. Jake Sharp with the vision. The forwards had sucked in all the players. There was room out wide. And there's pinpoint stuff from Jake Sharp, wasn't it? Ollie Dodge. Simple enough.
Well, you picked it there, Johnny. You can see him stood on the touchline. He'd been there for a good 20 seconds previous to that. As Bedford battered the line, it was only a matter of time before Jake Sharp looked up, saw him. Great execution, not an easy kick. And 5 points for Bedford, and a good start.
Well, he's been at this club for so long. He was on loan, wasn't he, from Leicester, and then made the permanent move. Centre and wing so far this season. Playing on the wing today, and that a really nice try for him. And Bedford got some confidence last week from the win, and that early in this game, another little shot of confidence in the arm for Mike Rare's men. Good job. 522 points for Canada. Over 2,200 in this league. Let's go back round. Using the conditions for Larkin and Mike Rare. Little smile. Well, Darry Morris is doing his best to keep dry down on the touchline. He's a roving commentator. Dowie?
Yeah, hi guys. Actually, it's very calm down here. The wind has dropped, and there's a little wry smile on Martin Hines' face here. He's claiming that move that Dodd scored, but the word that's gone out is be very direct in the forwards. They just want to suck Ealing in, who've started the game pretty well, but actually use the power of the forwards, get some position, and then it should become easier.
I think they want to go back to basics, don't they, Bedford? The basics just haven't been good enough so far this season. Today, an opportunity against Ealing, bottom of the table club, just to get the basics right. And if the frills and spills come after it, then that's fine, but get the basics right.
First things first, isn't it? Bedford need a win. But absolutely right, Martin Hines is correct. It was a try for the forwards. They tied them up, they pounded away, they tightened that Ealing defensive line-up, which was what created the space out wide, which Sharp exploited so well.
Timing on the last one was good, don't go early on.
Just about the avoid of the ball being kicked directly at us. Here's Clare. Charlie Clare, the 16 international. He's Leicester's under-17 captain when he's only 15 years of age, and he's a large man, but a young man. He's 21 years of age. Scott Sperling on the bench. The man dual register with Saracens. Third line out still for Ealing. Tape. Thompson. Here's Ward now. Bit of possession for Ealing.
No hands! Use it!
Slowed right down for Ealing. Through Cannon. Ward. Bunseals. They've got some good try scorers, haven't they? Bunseals and good chesters as well. Thompson, Bradley has really impressed since arriving at the club of the open side, but he's just knocked it on there. It's greasy conditions, of course.
And you can see from the way that Ealing are playing, they're just so used to keeping that ball in hand, 10 at the line, bringing runners in and around. But these conditions, it's so hard to do it accurately. And right now, Bedford's defence is aggressive, it's in their face, it's knocking them down, and Ealing just look a little bit clueless in direction in terms of where they're trying to go at Bedford at the moment.
Crouch! Bind! Time it. Stop him binding, it'll be against you.
New scrum engagement, of course. Filter down to the championship, of course. There's two hefty front rows.
Crouch!
Trilio Campo.
Bind!
Brooks and Carey.
Set! Yes, nice.
Clare and Cooper.
Free kick.
Feeding. Dowie Morris, are you watching? Free kick.
I am. It's my favourite subject.
Hands out, blue!
We know. A-star level. Ealing just a couple of little mistakes, and again, kind of what Ealing have been doing all season. There have been plenty of endeavour and intent, but the little mistakes that have just been making. It's Bradley again, isn't it? Taking that ball forward.
There's no hook and it wouldn't have got through.
Yeah, and you can't say there's anything wrong in their decision making there. They got the free kick. Had to try and raise the tempo, had to try and catch Bedford unawares. I think I'd quite like to see them putting the ball in the air, getting a kick chase, really trying to put some pressure on the Bedford back three and seeing if they can get some real field position, I guess, to attack from, because right now from 30, 40 out, they're just not effective.
Baldwin. Tackling the end from Robinson. Bradley there with another tackle from Pritchard, but he's got the ball back to Sharp. It's bobbling around. He's come out for Wheatcroft. Wheatcroft, great step from him. Back goes Atkinson. Barrel is there as well. Chance here for Ealing. Need to keep their composure here, and they do. And it's Henderson. Their fourth try this season.
Got you there.
They're coming right back into this game.
Yeah,
Checking
brilliant
the
from
last
Wheatcroft,
pass.
wasn't it?
Understood.
Great,
Stand by.
powerful run, lovely step.
Dean Richards wants to check with the television match official, Rowan Kidd, for the last pass we're hearing. Let's have a look at this one. Let's have a look at the hands, of course, all important. Ward, and it's that pass, isn't it, from McLean to Henderson.
And the last pass looks good. The one before had a hint of suspicion around it, but if they're only checking that last pass, it would be a cruel blow, this, for Ealing, were it not to be awarded this strike.
Looking at the hands, that's fine, isn't it? It really is. And for the neutrals, they're saying award the try, aren't they?
Dean, have you got me there?
Yes,
You may award the try.
Thank you.
And it has been awarded, as we suspected, and two sides haven't crossed the whitewash much this season, and already under 20 minutes into this game we got two tries already. It came from that mistake from Sharp, didn't it? Wheatcroft, strong running, we said at the beginning of the programme.
Yeah, and it was a lovely carry from Wheatcroft, well recycled, and then it was just a case of getting the ball wide with some reasonable efficiency, but it came, didn't it, from a mistake from Bedford, and you just feel that that is the way to attack this Bedford side when you are up against it in terms of ball carrying ability, and they're a more physical side than you. Get it in the air, put pressure on them when they've got the ball, and live off their mistakes today for Ealing. But great play from Wheatcroft. He's got his team well and truly back in it, 7-all.
It was a great run and great conversion as well. Andy Hall, the #1 goal kick, you have to say, for Ealing. Not even in the 22 today. So Wheatcroft with the kicking duties. 0 from 3 last week, so he'll be more than pleased with that conversion. Straight down the throat of Pritchard. It's an inter-contact. Carey is there. Paul Tupai secures possession. Cooper. Baldwin, good snappy service from him, isn't it? Fenton Wells always seems to beat that first man. He's not the biggest #8 out there. Burke. Oh, he makes a mistake, Brendan Burke. I like my speech.
Push.
Sharp. Bourgeois inside. Of course, did play at full-back for Jersey.
Clear release.
A few people would say that's his best position. Advantage coming to the Blues. Fenton Wells again up to the 10-metre line now. Tupai. What a servant he has been to this club, and what a servant to rugby. Turned up for his 23rd pre-season in the summer in professional rugby.
Advantage over.
Started when he was 16. I think he'll play next season as well. Fenton Wells again, heavily involved. Nick Fenton Wells. Sharp. Burke. Thought there was a little wrap around there. Leinster style, in the blue of Leinster as well, aren't they? Nice from Burke, takes it on Baldwin, a couple of steps himself. Atkinson, lovely offload to Howard. Howard, just too ambitious in the conditions. Henderson,
not held.
The try scorer. Ealing's opportunity.
Outside.
Donald McLean. It's a fine kick for him. I thought that's what Henderson should have done when he got that pass from McLean. Only one appearance against Leeds so far this season.
I think that just shows, doesn't it, what this wind and this slope can mean. Fantastic play from Bedford up to that point. Phase after phase after phase, looking after the ball. One turnover.
Blue.
And they're right back 15 metres from their own line, albeit through a fantastic piece of skill from that man there. Saw the space and executed it absolutely perfectly. And Ealing are back on the attack.
Stay far, stay in there.
There's no rabbits in the headlights, is there, from Ealing here, in front of the cameras. To watch the games of the players. Howards. That line-out is an issue. Martin Hines will be watching that. Bond as well. Bradley.
Okay, advantage, 10 offside.
Player of the season a few years ago for under 16 side. Wilkes takes it on, but advantage is coming. Ealing, right in front of the posts. And Ward, absolutely no hesitation. The captain, head coach by half. No, they're going for the corner, the 7-point gamble, if you like.
Well, listen, it's an important win, isn't it? And I guess he feels that they've got to have a fair old lead come half-time. But from their perspective, every single time the ball gets off the field, they're retaining possession regardless of putting. That's the 4th liner on the bounce now that they've managed to turn Bedford over. They shouldn't be afraid to kick it. They shouldn't be afraid to get it off the field. They obviously feel now that they'll win this and probably have a crack at driving them before they unleash the backs.
Bobbles around Matt Evans.
Off blue.
There's the quick
Wrong
pass. Again, the conditions playing their part, that greasy ball.
Yeah, and you can see they were just trying to change the point of attack on that drive, weren't they? They threw it to the front. They don't feel like in these conditions they can hit the middle of the back. Much easier to drive the middle of the back. So switch it in the air, down to the middle, drive them there where there's theoretically less men, less bodies. You can stay on your feet, but like you say, the wind is blowing a gale here, and it's very, very difficult.
Free kick, free bind.
Blustery wind. Free kick to Ealing. They're still coming. Anderson.
Release blue. No. Good.
Thompson. Lively scrum half. So often the heartbeat of this Ealing side, but they are still on the attack here. That is the try line in the back. Aurelio Campo. Anderson again. He's getting through a load of work.
Stay up, stay up. No hands!
Fenton Wells started to get his hands out of there. That's the turn of the Ealing forwards.
Driver.
The drive around the fringes to create the space, possibly like Bedford did for the crossfield kick.
Move blue, thank
Must
you.
keep hold of possession though. Aurelio Campo. Hand on there, so it's slower ball. Thompson has a little dig and then waits again for the forwards to take it. Anderson. Thompson. And here, Ward, the fly up.
Time.
Screaming instructions, but Ealing are just suggesting
Split,
they may have scored a try here.
And it looked from this
Graham,
angle in
can you hear me?
particular that he
Got
got
you
over.
Is there any
He
reason
feels
why
like he
I
has.
cannot award the try, please?
Understood.
Super little dart it was from the number 9. It's been lively all game.
Virtually unsighted from Thompson. Question was, any reason I cannot award the try? Watch the 9 here. It's burrowing underneath. The initial movement is short, I would suggest, from there. In between the legs there. And then moves it on again. So there's questions of double movement. This is the initial burst, isn't it? Partey.
This is such a difficult one to give, isn't it? There he is with his head buried. Oh, under his own man, and
Has that ball been lost as well?
if he's short at that point, he's kind of off his feet, he's gone nowhere, and then it's one final push with his hands. You'd probably suggest that's a double movement. So difficult to tell how close he gets to that line from this initial strike here.
Ball rolls forward. He knows he's short, and then the extra movement would be the assessment from us up here.
Yeah.
Question being, any reason try cannot be given. I think that's it for our angles. One again. Scrabbling, isn't he?
You can tell a lot from the reaction of a team, can't you? Right now, Ealing are back on the halfway line. Bedford are quite happy to stand under the posts. Both sides feel like this was a try.
Tough one for Rowan Kitt. Is this Ealing's
Dean,
second try
you
this
got me
game?
there? You may award the try.
He's given it. Only 3 tries scored by Ealing coming into this game, and they've already scored 2 here at Goldington Road.
Yeah, we said it, didn't we? But Ealing thought they'd scored that. They were back on the halfway line. Bedford were felt like they'd scored as well, and often that's enough for me. The players know, don't they?
Yeah, you're right. The initial reaction was from the players that they had scored. Whitcroft has got the conversion as well. Thompson, the try scorer. This is boot on the ball. The bourgeois. What a start from Ealing here. And they are playing down the slope and into the wind, but It's a great start from Ealing.
Thank you.
Dowie, views from Martin Hines, who's alongside you.
I certainly have, and he's normally smiling, but not at the moment. Adieu at 40 points favourites. What's going on?
It's a bit disappointing that so far, Derek. We've made some unforced errors, and it's let them come into the game. Maybe playing a little bit too much in the wrong areas of the field. But the accuracy hasn't been there for us. But I'm not panicking just yet. It's obviously, you know, it's an 80-minute game, and we feel that we'll come stronger second half. I'm hoping we don't have to leave it too late till we see some results from it, though, do we?
Well, you've got the wind in the slope in the second half, but tighten things up a bit more.
Yeah, again, if we could get our line-out functioning, we'd have an opportunity to do it. We probably need to put some movement into the line-out or shorten it a little bit, because what we're doing at the moment is not working.
And I'll give it back to you, boys. Hines, the accuracy is not there at the moment.
Still down at training on Thursday night. Mike Gray said all Martin Hines needed was a toadstool, a little fishing rod sat down there on the pitch side, but they talk a different language, don't they, Dowie and Martin, at times?
How many white? 5.
He's saying, yeah, the accuracy, especially at set pieces, not there for Bedford at the moment. Atkinson with that good break. The flick on from Bedford, sealing the line out, and their line out is functioning well. That man Anderson.
It's a maul.
You're absolutely right. And with that in mind, this ball should be going off the field. And it's not. For some reason, they're kicking, they're keeping it in play. Bedford want the opportunities to counter-attack.
Piece of the ground is in. Pritchard sliding away. Dodge, which is taking on the forwards and had a good fist of it, didn't he? Ball in, ball is out. He reacts quickly. Here's Cooper.
Move!
This is a brilliant start from Ealing, it really is. They have been growing into this season, playing plenty of players in different positions, trying to get the combinations right. And it's Bedford who are under pressure here.
That's okay,
Fenton Wells. Atkinson. Did it moments ago, didn't he, Mark Atkinson? Bright future ahead of him. Sharp now. There's space there for him. Just needed a runner on his shoulder. But possession is still there for Bedford. Burke.
Move, 7!
Bradley. Trying to turn that ball over. Using this right-hand side. Le Bourgeois. Pritchard is there as well. Seals making the tackle with Anderson. Sharp. Cooper. Bedford looking to respond to that second Ealing try.
Your own hand.
Sharp. Atkinson.
Backwards.
Harding. Strong fend from Harding in the end. He was thrown to the ground. Defensive wall for Ealing looks strong here. Sharp. That's why he looks inside to Barrel. Don Barrel. Ball under one arm. Atkinson picks it up. The ball's right on Pritchard. Can't work it out.
To White.
More frustration for Bedford.
Last pass again, wasn't it? Some really good stuff from Bedford. Fantastic line that was from Don Barrel. Pritchard feinted out. Great pace from Barrel on the inside, and then ultimately it was just a last pass twice now in the last 5 minutes that's let them down. But a great line from that man.
Yeah, the offensive line, very, very strong, but drifted away. And 2 or 3 times now that Sharp have brought players in on his inside shoulder. Fabulous line from an experienced player. Don Barrels, formerly at Saracens, wasn't he? Now back in the coaching setup with Ian Vass, I understand.
Fine. Set. No.
The wind picks up again.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ealing will just be looking to get this ball in and out at scrum time. They know they've got a bit of a disadvantage there. And stick it up into the atmosphere and let this wind carry it downfield to relieve a bit of pressure.
It's the highest level Ealing have ever played at. In the 2002-2003 season, playing at level 7, London 3 Northwest Division.
No hands, blue!
Robinson, the winger, has to take that ball from the base of the scrum. Anderson. And slam winner on the 20 level was TJ Anderson in 2007 with the likes of Cian Healy and Keith Earls. Son of Willie Anderson, of course. Famously stood up to Buck Shelford, didn't he, in the All Blacks of the Haka in 1989. Probably lost 23 points to 6.
5.
That was good for Morgan Thompson there. Nice box kick, relieving the pressure. This young man, hooking. Charlie Clare really struggled this year with his line out. You'd have to say that's not all his fault. At the moment, Ealing are putting good pressure. That time, perfect execution.
Mike Howard coming forward, didn't he? Atkinson. Pritchard. Classy operator, Mark Atkinson. Really good showing the Championship 15. Sharp. Le Bourgeois can't pick it up. And it's picked up eventually and over the line. And the try's been awarded. Ball went backwards from Le Bourgeois. And Bedford have their second score.
What a cracking piece of play from Bedford that was. Perfectly executed line out. Atkinson in the centres. Like I say, a classy piece of play there. Lovely break. As you can see here, lovely show and go. Through he goes. He's got a man on him, but he waits, he holds it. Lovely offload. Clears the man out himself as well. And then Sharp, great vision and a beautifully weighted kick. Le Bourgeois will be disappointed he didn't get the 5 points himself, but well deserved from Bedford. You say that's the third or fourth opportunity they've created in the last 10 minutes. And a great try, that one.
No pun intended, but Jake Sharp is looking sharp. Those kicks through, Ealing just not dealing with it. Le Bourgeois, excellent composure of him, just left the ball alone, realised he wasn't going to get it. Ollie Dodge was on hand, and his second try, and it's 12 points to 14.
Yeah, Sharp is playing particularly well. It suits the way he likes to play, bringing players in around him, multi-phase, and when the space is in behind, he's got a great little kicking game. It's clever, isn't it? He's been absolutely crucial in both their scores.
10-12 axis working well for Bedford. And that is a conversion that James Pritchard will want to forget.
Well, I think that's just an indication of just how strong this wind is, because James Pritchard is a very good kicker. And there we see Dodge going over again in the corner. Won't mind playing wing if he gets a brace every time he plays.
And he has had plenty of game time on the wing for Bedford, but pretty much as a centre. And you have to say that Mike Ray, we just saw him shot there, 2 points down, going down the hill. Reasonably happy with that at half-time, will he?
I think he'll be very relaxed, to be honest. It's a very, very strong wind. And I don't think that Ealing have got the carriers to play into it. And I think that's the difference between these two teams. Bedford have made a reasonable fist of it.
And it's been a real facet of Ealing's play this season. They played in fits and starts. They wanted to start really brightly here today. They've done that. 2 tries up on the board already. It's Bedford with the likes of Fenton Wells, we see there.
He's through the middle.
Do have the strong carriers. Baldwin's gone quickly. Sort of ref cam there.
Don't go through.
Harding.
2. Taking the contest.
And he's immediately reversed.
9.
One from Sasha Harding.
9.
Good pressure on the floor there from Ealing. Again, going for the corner. Nothing but maximum points. And you've got to feel that's a mistake. 6 points they've given up now.
2. You've bounced up, no problem.
Just
bounce up.
We talk up here, don't we, in our
Yeah.
other rickety box on the scaffolding above a fish and chip shop, but you have to rely on the captain, the head coach. He's down there, he's in the moment, he can sense what's around him and his players and what options they have up their sleeves.
To a point, you're right, but there's so much on that man's shoulders, isn't there? Like you say, head coach, captain, fly half, chief decision maker, you know, and embroiled in the game as well. And it's I don't know, but I think it's an error in judgment.
Jumper through on the arm.
Well, they've got away with the missed line out. Ball did bounce out of TJ Anderson's hand, but it was illegally done. There was a Bedford arm interfering, and again Ben Ward goes to the corner.
I guess there is a small matter
on the line, please.
of a try bonus point at stake. They've scored 2. Another one now sets them up for that. So I guess there's a counter argument towards it. Whether that's what's in their mind or not, I don't know. But he's committed to it.
They haven't had much to hang their hat on, as it were, so far in this championship season. But anything here, a single point just to get off 0 column in the league points tally. Give them real heart for the rest of the season. It is a long season, of course. 23 rounds now before the playoffs. The playoffs, the system that Bedford knows so well. Here's Pape. Another penalty against Bedford here.
Of course, if they get a 7-pointer before the half-time, then it will justify the decision-making that he's currently going through.
Certainly will. Ward just checks with Conor Carey, I think it was, the tight head.
Dean,
We've got
2 minutes.
Energy for the scrum. Yes, say his forwards, but they need now, that's 3 penalties in this area now. They need to come away with something.
Arguably, if they can give him the platform that he needs from this scrum, they're not going to push Bedford over. But it is a great attacking platform. Splits the Bedford defensive line with absolutely no space in behind them, just a try line. So it's a great attacking opportunity.
Yes, 9.
With Ealing lined up to the left on an overload here, the number 10 right in behind.
But it's a penalty to Bedford. The gamble has not paid off for Ealing.
Gone to Grant, no. Within 2 minutes. Step away, one, don't turn it round.
You just question, don't you? Given the history of the scrum for Ealing, previously already in this game, that had to be the wrong decision. Still, he asked the right man. His tight head said, yes, I've got this.
Bedford haven't found touch, found Robinson instead Henderson. Has that gone forward? No, says the assistant referee. Right in front of us, good tackle from Darren Firth. There's a point that Phil Chester's made to it in the week. Down there at training. For so many years now, Ealing have been the big boys. Dishing it out, if you were. But now they're the boys at the bottom of the league, struggling to
Your own time now,
find any sort of form. And they have been struggling this season, but not in this game here at Goldington Road. They have scored 2 tries down the hill, and an intriguing first 40 minutes, Pat.
Yeah, I think Bedford will certainly be the happier of the two, going in with a big, strong wind behind them in the second half. For Ealing, well, they've got to look at themselves now, because it's going to be a mammoth effort in the second half. Their big physical guys up front have got to offer themselves for the next 40 minutes if they're going to come out victorious today.
4 tries already in this first half. It's Ealing who lead 14 points to 12. Let's get down to Bill.
Owen, is that close to the best role you played this season?
Yeah, I think we spoke about the first 20 minutes before the start of the game. We came out, obviously disappointed to concede the first try, but we hit back really well, 2 tries. But yeah, I'll probably put that down to our best half of rugby so far this season, putting them under real pressure.
Should you have gone for the 3 there?
I think we just called it as we see it at the moment. It's also a big call to go for the scrum. Hopefully it'll pay dividends in the second half, tiring them out when we've got the win against us.
Cheers, Owen.
Thanks.
Yes, I think Mike Cudmore is fairly satisfied. His team have got a foothold in this game, that is for sure. Ealing the side that arrived in this league at the beginning of the new campaign. Bedford losing finalists last year, but it's the new boys with their noses in front. The home side, though, with the benefit of the elements in the second 40. Analysis next for you. Here, though, potentially an enormous story with Ealing Trailfinders, who 10 years ago were playing in level 7. They're now in level 2, of course, but they are leading Bedford Blues, who were the runners-up in the playoffs last year. So I've been told not to look cold, but it's easier said than done on an afternoon like this, isn't it? Rory and Will alongside. First things first, credit to Ealing. That is, as we heard at half-time, the best 40 minutes they've played so far this season.
Yeah, very much so. They've actually put them under pressure. Bedford have made a number of errors and Ealing have benefited off them. To be fair, they focused on the start and they didn't get the right start. Actually, Bedford had the majority of the possession in the early exchange and actually scored that first try, but Ealing have since kicked on.
Absolutely. Talking of kicking, let's have a look at the first try. Sort of well taken by Ollie Dodge. It was looking a bit wobbly at one stage.
Up the hill into the wind, first real territory. Worked really nicely. Great cross kick. Ollie Dodge takes it, as you say, on the hoof. It's really, he's dropped on a sixpence here. Hasn't had to break stride, and the right winger there just covering back has no chance in terms of stopping Ollie Dodge. So it was a real sort of smash and grab at that stage, and then from there though I thought Ealing started to cut out their own error count. They attacked the Bedford line out, and on the back of that they started to get the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of the problems that Bedford have been having come line out time, and it's not just today. It's been a problem all season for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And today it's been, you know, it's magnified even more with this wind, and it's obviously tough throwing. And Ealing have identified this. You see, they've got 2 and 4 pods getting up there and really putting Bedford under pressure. Really, they're only giving them the tail of the line out, and in this wind it's a really tough ask for the hooker.
We saw Bedford going from deep from early on, and it actually worked for them, but they going from deep quite a lot, and obviously when the ball does then get turned over, Ealing did well to put it together and put a try in for Andrew Henderson.
Absolutely. Sharp drops the ball here, and then they were just a bit slow to react, Bedford. Martin Hines was talking with Dowie, just disappointed with their old intensity levels early on, but nicely turned over. And Ronnie McLean, who had a lovely kick a little bit later on, the outside centre. Really nice hands, and that got them back in the game, gave them the confidence, gave them the foothold that we thought they'd need early on. Didn't think they'd go 7-0 behind, and from there they built and ended up scoring another try. But this was really smart, feeding off errors, putting the pressure and giving their small travelling band of faithful supporters who might keel over by the end of the game something to cheer about.
I think it's been a liquid lunch for some of them, hasn't it? And obviously Thompson has then put them into the lead as well, and it just goes to show that if you get phase and you get territory, Ealing have got something about them.
They're playing rugby under pressure, and the reality is they're keeping it in tight. You know, they're backing their pack. Pape, the big lock there, is carried well, and it's actually the little diminutive man at 9, Thompson, diving in there to touch it up against the post. And I think Ealing, you know, they are playing, they've typically played a brand of rugby whereby they've thrown it around. They've maybe learned from that, and today they've, with testing conditions, they've come out and they've been relatively direct. Some might say one-out hits, but then they've been effective.
You really like this kid as well.
Yeah, Atkinson, saw him all last year. Again, first time a line-out works well, just skips through. Really nicely done, draws the defender, show and go, then sharp again. He's already set the first try up with a kick into the corner with the cross kick. This time he goes low with the grubber, and Ollie Dodge is thinking, thank goodness my fullback has completely haulixed that up. I've got another meat pie.
Absolutely, in the bag, only 2 points in it. Let's have another word with Dowie, who's down pitch side. Dowie.
I am indeed, Alex. I've got Bernard with me, who's how many years have you been watching Bedford?
Just over 35 years.
And I have to say, it's been a bit of a horror start to the season, no wins. What have you made of that first half?
It's a very simple game, and we're trying to overcomplicate things. Let the ball do the work. We've got the players, and we've got some serious pace, but we're trying to force the issues all the time, and it's costing us dearly, particularly with the state of the pitch.
So if you're in the changing room now, what would you be saying to your players for the second half?
I would say keep your chins up, stay in control, and don't try and force it too quickly.
And use the wind and the slope.
Well, the slope is, as here, is well known throughout the world. But yes, use it properly, put the ball in the corners, and go from there.
Bernard's words of wisdom. Second half after the break.
Coming into today, Ealing Trailfinders have managed only 3 tries in their first 4 games, but they've got a couple on the board already. The captain, controller and coach, number 10 there, Ben Ward. No doubt a happy man at half-time as they lead Bedford by 14 points to 12, but they have got to do it all over again, pedalling literally uphill in the second half. Let's hand you back to your commentators, Pat Sanderson and Johnny Hammond, for the second half.
Yeah, indeed, Alex, they do have the lead, but Pat and I just talking at half-time. It is going to take a monumental effort, isn't it? Up the hill, 40 minutes of absolute dog was the word that we used. to hold on to this lead and possibly even extend it, but if they can, what a result it would be.
It would be incredible, wouldn't it? And I think they can kind of smell it, can't they? The three men for me, they're absolutely key though. Papai, Evans and Anderson, they carried really well in that first half. They're going to have to offer themselves again and again and again. They're going to have to run into walls for their number 10, give him options all day long, and if they can do that, keep the ball, keep it away from Sharp, the Bedford 10, then who knows what may happen. But for that man Sharp, who's about to restart the game, we have to see the other side of his game management now. It's about territory and field position, and can he keep his side down here in the Ealing half?
Need to get the line out right as well, don't they, Bedford? As Henderson, the fullback, immediately puts it into the stands. This blustery day here.
That's you.
This took a slight knock as he kicked the ball out.
We've got time. Yes, you. How many?
Yes, and the Bedford line-out's going to get a test immediately.
5. Stay in 15.
It's a great attacking platform. The last time they were in this position, they scored. Can they execute again?
There to Barrel. Better line out from Bedford. Atkinson. So his running skills, he's a great distributor as well. Baldwin. Sharp just flicks it away, Brendan Burke. So much of the unseen work out in the midfield, Brendan Burke. Darren Fern, who carried well in the first 40. Good ball presentation for Baldwin, that's a quick ruck. Clare. Oh, his first line out of this second half, right. Howard has missed. Sharp.
Hold 4, hold.
We see the kick going in. As Brun Seals goes back. The ball will beat everyone.
Yeah, poor execution from Sharp then, but absolutely the right thing to do. 4 or 5 cracks, nothing on, goes for the corner, and I think that's the difference, isn't it, between what we saw perhaps from Ealing in the first half, where they relentlessly went at them in the first half, even with the wind behind them. Sharp there, first opportunity to try and find a corner, didn't execute it, but for my mind, absolutely the right thing to be doing.
Thank you. It will be slightly slower. Okay. Wait. Okay.
Of course, Miles Dorian came in back end of last season on loan from Exeter. Only played in fly half for so many years and
no, it's not.
Steered Bedford into those finals, of course, against Newcastle. Rory Lawson, of course, in our studio today.
Okay.
Yeah, boys, I just had a quick chat with Mike Cudmer, I'll be speaking to in the 60th minute, and he's quite happy, obviously, with the first half's exertions from his side. Equally, I had again a word with Martin Hines, what exactly Bedford need to redress in the second half, and just literally to keep hold of the ball and actually drag Ealing around the field, because they feel there's a lot of mismatches out at the moment. Unfortunately, they just can't hold on to the ball at the moment.
We'll get the scrum right either. Of course, went for the scrum. The back end of that first half, didn't they? Turned down the option for 3 points. And again, Ben Cooper on that tight head side, doing some great work at scrum time, wins the penalty, and then Jake Sharp goes for touch and out. Charlie Clare needs to get this line out right. But Bedford playing exactly where they want to.
How many?
Yeah, they're controlling things really nicely, and Luke Baldwin's distribution off his lineouts is absolutely first class. He's bringing Sharp onto the ball, setting the line, going absolutely beautifully, and Atkinson in the centre wreaking havoc.
Cannon gets in there. Ahead of the Bedford Blues jumper. More line out problems for Bedford Blues to scratch their head about. Bourgeois can't hold on to the ball. Carey, Thompson, huge pass out to Henderson. Henderson now with a couple of forwards in front of him. Robinson. Try against Crosskeys in the British and Irish Cup last week. It's gone backwards as the referee. Good commitment from Cooper and Clare to re-win that ball back for Bedford. Mike Howard plays scrum half. Paul Tupai. 5 caps for Samoa. Good hands from Sharp. Atkinson fades onto that ball, and Pritchard. Baldwin again, using that short side. Sharp Brendan Burke now. Here come Bedford. Baldwin, a couple of steps from him. Sasha Harding is upended. The possession still with Bedford. Sharp just pops it up to Pritchard. Knew the space was there. Just invited Pritchard to take it. And the Canadian international needs no second invitation. And the first try of the second half goes to the home side.
It's the Jake Sharp roadshow at the moment. Some fantastic hands from that young man. He's controlling this game beautifully. Took a very, very difficult pass 3 or 4 phases earlier. Juggled with it. Great composure. Even has the presence of mind to delay the pass, and then again, good distribution. Sharp again, bringing the winger back inside. He realigns quickly, gets himself in the box seat again, holds it up, holds it up, holds it up, and puts his man in for a try. He may not have scored it, but he pretty much did everything else.
Over 200 appearances for Bedford in the league. Over 2,000 points. 43 points coming into today's game. A couple of tries and he's added to that here. Should be simple enough despite the gusting wind. And Bedford have a 5-point lead. Just what Ealing didn't want at the beginning of this second half.
3 tries, 3 assists from Jake Sharp. First things first now for Bedford. Got their noses back in front. Nice clean take. And probably Jake Sharp to clear it.
I can't take it. Anders Nielsen just come on the field, does. McLean. Powerful centre partnership, isn't it? Wheatcroft and McLean. Henderson. A couple of seasons as a national one, didn't they? Picked to the post by Jersey. Season before last, and then of course eventual winners. To be promoted to this second tier, the championship. Strong Fenn, Brunsins, and Burke, Thompson to Sam Wilkes. But they're in at the side. Another penalty to Bedford.
Yeah, touch unfortunate there. Got his body in the wrong position, and Bedford did well, didn't they, to get over the top. But it was a smart restart, that, from Ealing. If they kick long from the restart, Bedford take it, they hammer it back down, and they're on the defence again, as it was. Lovely little chip down the field, just down the middle. Brilliant chase, wasn't it? Lovely clean take, and they're on the attack. Absolutely the right thing to do when you're playing into a win like this.
Okay, 1, 3, 7, please. 1, 3 and 7.
Fern, Cooper and Harding off.
White on the line. Line's yours, White on the line.
There's Darren Fern and Ben Cooper coming off. Nico Steenkamp, Phil Bolton will come on. There's Nico Steenkamp. His second spell at Bedford, went off to Coventry. A really good season at Midlands club. And they're back here at Bedford. Straight from the line out. See the annoyance from Baldwin flying that ball out. Tom Arms is also on. And he came through the Leicester Academy from the playing here at Bedford for the Colts.
Yeah, and it's absolutely killing them, isn't it, at the moment? And the last 2 lineups have been squarely on Charlie Clare's shoulders, just underthrown on the first one, not straight on the second, and 2 great opportunities for Bedford. He'll be very frustrated. Has to leave it behind now. Scrum time, an important one at that.
Scrum has to wait. The referee is happy to put the ball in. It's not on his instruction,
It
but
will be slower, guys.
has to wait until the referee is happy that the score is stable and square. Thompson, who fizz around the field.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Yes, 9.
Any instruction from the referee there.
Let him up.
Squirts out for Anderson. Arms it straight onto his man.
Get it off him and give it to Jack.
Bradley.
Let it go, you two, let it go! Don't!
Scored at Bishop's Wandsworth. Alex Bradley, former school of to Richard Hills, and Jonathan scrum half, of course, and Tom Heathcote as well, Scotland international and barfly half. Anders Nilsson.
Let go, Six, you're off your feet.
Heathcroft. Anderson. Thompson desperate to get that ball out. Ward. Wilkes now. Little flick ball inside. Those are the kind of passes I'm not sure the Ealing can afford to be trying to make.
So if Rico Gear throws that pass, you kind of don't mind, because you know 99 times out of 100 it's going to be on the money. But when you're just trying to keep hold of the ball and play into the wind, and your hooker throws that pass, I suspect for a coach that might be quite frustrating.
Suggesting that Sam Wilkes is no Rico Gear.
It's kind of what I'm saying.
He's a very competitive front row though, isn't he? Another man who plenty of rugby in the front row, Ben Alexander, had a season here a few years ago. He was capped by Australia, and of course Australia, the first visitors to Twickenham for England's autumn internationals. 1:30 for the hours build up for England Australia. Sky Sports 2, and of course available on 3D as well. There's our England Argentina and England New Zealand. Mustn't forget the England women against the French women as well, following England against Argentina. That as well in 3D. First time ever.
Crouch! 5, 10. Yes,
So matters to sort out here at Goldington Road though. Bedford his first score in this second half. Brendan Burke. The Bourgeois. It's a good pass from Burke, wasn't it? It was a great one to the centre. Trying to use the width, and so much of the firepower left the club in the summer. Of course, Ben Ransom was on season-long loan from Saracen. James Stevenson and Josh Bassett, of course, left the club. Worcester and Wasps.
So I love the balance there that Jake Sharp's bringing into this game. The obvious thing there would have been to boot it in the corner. Ealing leaving guys back. So Sharp has a crack, keeps them honest, means they can't sit as deep as they'd like, and leaves that backfield open perhaps later on when he wants to find some space. Great player game from Jake Sharp.
Yeah. Charlie Clare is coming off the hooker. Scott Sperling. Young Saracen hooker is on. Did whiz back down to join Saracens just in case. Nick Ortrak has been here at Bedford for a couple of games. The Saracens probably with that injury to reskill. They've been deprived of the young and very promising props services for today's game. May well be back. Ben Gulliver is on as well in the second row, so plenty of fresh legs for Bedford.
Lift it up, but it wasn't straight. We do it again.
In that pack.
Yeah, and as this game wears on and the score remains this tight, you can just see the pressure starting to build on Bedford. They'd have come into this game fully expecting to win it. And Ealing are by no means dead and buried, are they? They're well in this game.
Definitely not dead and buried.
Crouch! 5.
We've spoken about that this week.
Yes, 9.
The expectation on the Bedford players. And they've got a tight head at the scrum. Baldwin knew it was coming. Sharp flies the pass out. Dodges there. Couldn't dodge the tackles though. Baldwin bobbling around. Advantage to Ealing. Partey. Strong runner with the ball in hand, isn't he?
Been good, Partey, hasn't he? Carried all day for them.
Brunseals. Actually dragged down by Dodge. Again, it's there for Ward, looks inside, finds Henderson now. And this is a good a performance of Ealing have had all season. Tended to drift in and out of games, not today. Jordan Saunders, Ward, Wheatcroft, Henderson, Heathcroft, Wheatcroft.
They go blue, you're off your feet. Backwards.
Backwards is the referee. Julio Campo picks up the loose ball, the loose head as the wind picks up again.
Didn't get the first one, he went
so,
for two.
For me, it's a very, very simple decision to make. You take the 3 points, but you feel he's going to go for the corner again. And when you look at just how difficult it has been for them to get down here in this Bedford half, you've just got to feel they're giving cheap points up for nothing here. Right in front of the sticks, 20 metres out. I know it's a bit windy, but it's as dead set of 3 points as you're going to get in this game. And I think, looking back on this, if Ealing should lose this, they'll rue these opportunities.
How many? All. Stay, please.
And the man who has kicked for the most this season, Randy Hall, is not in the 22. Perhaps that's in the mind of Ben Ward.
Yeah, but we saw Wheatcroft before the game, knocking him over from 40, 45 yards out. Still, they've got the ball here and a real opportunity now, and a well-set drive from Ealing.
He's okay.
Buchanan takes the line out. And the scrum captain in his second half.
Still moving. He's okay. He's leaving.
Still moving, says the referee. He allows it to go on. Now it breaks up slightly.
No, ball's available.
Thompson just waits.
Use it. Hands up, blue six. Let go.
Again, the forwards take it around the side. Here's Wilkes now. Was it Rico Gear? No, it's Wilkes.
Plenty of space in behind that Bedford defensive line there for that short grubber through, should they take the line hard here. Still battering away with the forwards though at the moment.
And they get the penalty. Now this is the most kickable of all their penalties they've had so far. And the referee wants a word here. Final warning, I would have thought. Pritchard jogs up.
Same as for you in the first half. Arms must be in the tackle, 16 and 5.
Okay, yes.
No arms in the tackle, in fact, from the referee.
That's right.
Ward.
Mark here.
Fine line between bravery and being foolish, isn't there? Another penalty that is very kickable in a very tight game. Going up the hill, blustery conditions. And Ben Ward, head coach, captain, fly half, has gone for the corner yet again.
Well, I guess he's either compounding the mistakes he's already made and he's too stubborn to change his mind and think perhaps I was wrong, or he firmly believes in this pack of forwards to get him over the whitewash.
We've lost the line outs.
Backwards. Step back.
First line out for Bedford. And the line out hasn't been going well, but they get the bounce of the ball. Brun Seals can't do anything about that. And Bedford have played their get out of jail card, haven't they?
Yeah, well up, wasn't it, from Ben Gulliver? Good line out exponent himself, quick off the ground. And that's all it took, wasn't it, to destroy 10 minutes of hard work from Ealing. All to do again now, get back down in that Bedford half, give themselves another opportunity.
2 metres, 16.
Another chance, but 50 metres away now. Can Bedford steal the line out? Line out buggers switch from one side to the other. Advantage to Baldwin. Baldwin takes it quickly, but too quickly really. He knew it.
In fairness to him, he's right in front of the referee, on the mark.
Yeah, hi guys, I've got Mike Cudmore, obviously Director of Rugby of Ealing. Mike, nobody gave you a chance coming into this game. What have you been saying to your guys all week?
Well, to be fair, in the majority of games this year, we've actually played well in periods, and I just said we needed a complete performance today. You know, we know we've got it in us. It was just a case of stringing it together. And, you know, again, for the majority of the first half, I thought we did some good things. A little bit disappointed with some of our red zone work. I thought we had opportunities to put on a bit more pressure, but I think today, hopefully, we've shown everyone that we can compete at this level.
Just talk to me about those decisions in the first half, turning down, obviously, the penalties. I think it was 6 points, and then equally 6 points in the second half.
Yeah, look, we know that we feel we're a team that can score tries, and we come here with a goal today to score 4 tries, so we go over the minimum of 1 point, and then on top of that, if it all went well, we come away with a bigger prize, which is the win.
Good luck. Cheers.
Atkinson from the break from Burke. Baldwin. Sharp again, using the boots. One will go out to touch, but he's bearing his game well, isn't he, Jake Sharp?
Yeah, just a metre too far on that kick, and it might have been another 5 points in the corner. And right now, it's Bedford that look like they're going to get 4 tries first.
Go across the line, okay? That's your mark there.
And he really is having a great game, isn't he? Offload off the floor there to for the initial break. That man Atkinson again, in the middle of everything. And then just a touch heavy with the final kick. That was a lovely offload, wasn't it? Out the back of the hand as well from Jake Sharp, showing all the skills.
Wasn't selected in that first leg of the final, I should say, against Newcastle. Super game up at Kingston Park, scored all of Bedford's 24 points.
And Bedford's line-out's taken a real change for the good since they've made 1 or 2 changes to personnel. Ben Gulliver making a real difference in terms of their defensive ability. Pinch 2 on the bounce and putting real pressure on Ealing. Now, can this man turn their attacking fortunes around?
Scott Sperling. Big difference as well. Ealing not competing for that one. It's a free catch, really. Driving more. Anderson, Saunders trying to disrupt things. Sperling. It's gone backwards at the referee. Sharp. Hugh Bourgeois was out wide. Cuts back inside. Michael Le Bourgeois.
But he had to score, didn't he? Susie tucked and went himself, but he finished it beautifully. And a great pass that came from Jake Sharp. Almost getting bored of saying it myself. Lovely break off the bat there, wasn't it? By the replacement hooker. Showed great pace. Lovely footwork. A little bit unlucky there, got tapped down. They did well to keep it alive, and that's a cracking pass there, isn't it? And as soon as he decided to go at it himself, it was heart in mouth time, you suspect. But there it is, the 4th try for Bedford, and they're well in control now.
Yeah, just stepped in. You can see Ollie Dodge saying, I was 3 out wide. He had to score, as you say. We thought Dodge would have had a few choice words for him if he hadn't. But Scott Sperling's so comfortable with ball in hand. The hooker. He had a big impression since he's come on the line-outs. Going well, and he's playing in the loose as well. Which I missed. The red kick on our graphic. Slightly wider out. Slide this one back in. It's a tremendous kick from Pritchard. He say he meant it. Just got a feeling there might have been a little bit of luck and a gust of wind to help that kick go over.
I think you put that one down to local knowledge, don't you? Set it off 5-6 metres to the right-hand side of the uprights. Drew it back beautifully.
Championship viewers out there, I remember Harry Law in a similar kick for Rotherham against Doncaster at Castle Park a few seasons ago.
Was outside. Taken in.
Sharp is really
good now.
Some welly behind that one. Spiralling into the arms of Henderson. from Wales. Strong challenge from the South African.
Use it!
Ryan Storer moved up from the Cornish Pirates.
Use it!
Prop scored on the loose head. Former doorman. On and off the field, not a man to mess with, Ryan Storer.
Slightly surprised he didn't start the game, actually, just for his set piece work alone, really.
Wheatcroft tackled by Bolton. Going to rip that ball away, wasn't he, Phil Bolton? Here is Ryan Storer. He's got championship experience, of course, with the Pirates. It works now.
Still play the advantage.
Ward goes cross-field. Brunseals. Lovely kick from Ward, wasn't it?
No hands!
Not in the space that Brunseals was hoping.
A second. No. Yes.
Anders Nielsen.
Hands off, Blue.
Control Ealing. To Commons. Henderson is there. Saunders.
Rock!
Wheatcroft. Brunseals.
It's okay from the back.
Commons. Forward of Northampton and Wasp, Stuart Commons. One of the last year Oxford a few years back as well, so he's got plenty of rugby experience. Henderson. Welch has done really well to tidy things up there.
Use it!
Just didn't care for his own safety there. Floats one out. They scored so many tries in the last few seasons, rather like Harlequins, not shying away from that style of play that's got them to where they are now, the highest level of rugby this club has ever played at. And they're giving the Bedford Blues a real game here at Goldington Road. But bonus point already secured by Bedford, that fourth try, that Michael Bourgeois try. Anders Nielsen.
Here.
Yeah, and Bedford just failing to release the man on the floor there defensively, but they look organised. Their line's good. They're getting around the corner quickly. They're setting themselves well in defence. And what, 10, 12 metres gain perhaps from Ealing there in 10 or 12 phases.
Change, White 8. 8.
Sam Hocking is coming on.
Changing.
Plymouth Albion's top try scorer last season with 9. Scored 6 in his first 6 games for Plymouth Albion. Now following his trade at Ealing. You have to say, Ealing, 5 promotions in 11 years, not quite the standard of Jersey's rocketing up the league. Difficult to adjust to different leagues each season. It's always going to take a time to get used to the championship, the pace that the game is played at. In this league with plenty of fully professional teams, big budgets as well, plenty of new players, of course, as well. Something like 21 players leaving the club and 20 joining. It's going to take a while for them to gel, but they are doing it bit by bit, and this is a tremendous performance for Ealing Trailfinders. Still not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. They get something here. There's Bradley. He won't give up, the young open side. Commons, Saunders now. It's a good pass from him. Ward just flicks it out. McLean, Henderson. Now it's 2-on-1. Brunseals. Just chugged down short. Michael Bourgeois.
Yeah, the first time we've seen that Bedford defensive line get tight, and it was well executed from Ealing. They found the outside channel well. That man there. There, the cover defence that stopped him. Good play from Ealing that time. You can see just great execution.
Off the line, please.
Pulling it deep. In front of good line speed from Bedford, but they were tight. And you can see it was a good effort to get across ultimately from the Bedford defenders.
How many?
But nice passing from Ealing. First time we've really seen them out wide, putting their wingers in any space near the line.
Advantage going to Ealing. For a cannon. Takes the line out, more line out woes for Bedford. Ryan Storer. The wind just begins to pick up again.
That's okay, he's from the middle.
Ealing, so close now. Just over the 100 mark in terms of tackles made from Bedford. Have been without the ball for large portions of this game. Ealing try and go over the top. Is it Saunders?
Time off.
And again we will go to the television match official. An American football style. Straight over the top of the ruck. Let's hear the question.
Ryan?
Got you.
I'm playing advantage for 5 blue not moving, hands in. Can you just check to see if it's try yes or no, please?
Try yes or no, understood.
Different question. Try yes or no. We are playing advantage, so at very least Ealing will have the penalty. There's Saunders.
5 not getting his hands up. 5 not getting his hands up.
Happy with that effort from the NFL, weren't they?
It was a cracking effort, wasn't it? He looks there like he may have got the ball down. Who'd want to be a fourth official, hey?
That initial surge, he doesn't get there, but you suspect he probably has in the end, but can we see it?
So clearly he doesn't here, he comes down on the man, doesn't he? But he slides off him. They come in to try and stop it. He doesn't, and you can see, don't you, that he still continues that downwards momentum. You kind of know that under there he's probably grounded that ball. You can see it coming down now. That to me looks like it's probably a try.
I didn't call the Thompson try the first half particularly well, do we? We suspect that wouldn't be a try. Now we're calling this one probably a try. But it's probably a try, isn't it? But it's unsighted. Owen Kit. Had a busy afternoon, isn't he? In our comfy, warm truck out the back.
I'll tell you, regardless of result, it was some effort to even get close to scoring it.
The Ealing 49ers have just rolled into town.
With Rico Gear.
Yes, right.
Ball is held up.
Held up, no try, advantage.
No try.
No, try line.
Wow, I thought you might have given that one.
He
Still
hasn't. And Ealing just won't shy away from this, will they? Brave for the 70 minutes up until this point. Haven't been able to convert these gambles to go for the try rather than to kick 3 points. They've turned down plenty of opportunities. I can count 9, 12 points. But here's Wilkes. Need to get the line out right. They do. Advantage again. Being played to Ealing.
Can't turn it in there. Come here. Time is off.
Time is off, says the referee. Been warned for no arms in the tackle now. Another warning here.
This one, you're taking the pod man out before he's even gone through. Keep your sort of the line out. Penalties against you. Think again.
Tautopai, over the years, has perfected that.
By through.
What, Misa? Look, hasn't he? Never him.
No, they've been under some pressure today, Bedford. Well over 100 tackles now, and an awful lot of penalties in this red zone. At some point, the referee really should go to the pocket
Don't hold him up.
and get one of them off the field.
Not the pod.
Right. Testimonial years been granted this season. Phil Bennett spoke at one of the dinners.
Get it.
Martin Hines is emceeing the curry night in a few weeks' time. Slightly different audience with them. Bedford Blues eventually ends up in the hands of Phil Bolton.
Out 19.
The tight head prop. Again, the gamble for Ealing Trailfinders hasn't paid off. They will rue the opportunities to go for points and posts.
Up the side.
Yeah, no question. It's almost frustrating being up here watching it, because had they have taken all those opportunities, they'd probably have their noses in front right now. But again, it was that man, wasn't it? Ben Gulliver. He's made a huge impact defensively in the line-out. So much quicker off the floor, taking away that easy option at the front that Ealing went to in the first half. It's been very different with him on in the second half.
Stay two.
Yeah, replaced Mike Howard, who's only missed 3 league games in the last 3 seasons. Mike Howard, Ben Gulliver's come on. Another one with that internationally.
First from white, then from blue.
Sporting wife, Gina Rosario, England women's scrum half. Ben Gulliver.
We are inside. 9 and 10,
real
please.
impact, isn't it?
Time off.
True athlete.
9 and 10, please. 9 and 10.
So at the Cornish Fire, actually, then some time at Worcester as well, but some more subs. Carol Vienendahl at scrum half, and Neville Edwards, England Counties man, big boots to fill, on the wing with Josh Bassett and James Stevenson.
Number 10.
Started
10,
all 4 games,
10,
scored a
10, blue.
try against
10.
London Welsh, the first try of Bedford's campaign this season.
10.
It's a little extra zip for the final 8 or so minutes.
Having a scrum for a while, it's still slow. Incredible. Inside.
Jake Sharp, who's gone off, so a reshuffle in the back line. Michael Bourgeois will go to 10. Pritchard has gone to 15. Dodges still out there, Atkinson.
Your angle's not good, you've got your knee on the ground.
And Burke is
I'm
out
guessing
there as well. So Pritchard to 15, and Bourgeois in at 10.
A little bit surprised at taking Jake Sharp off. Perhaps they feel they've done enough to close this one out, but as it is, still under a bit of pressure in their own 22. But with Vienendahl on, real live wire. Loves to smite around the side, loves to raise the tempo of the game. Much better scrum that from Ealing. And they've turned it over.
Set for Commons, leaves it for Storer. Ealing still on the hunt here. There is time left. Tupai, and important tackle for him. Sperling was there as well. He's made a real impact.
Hands out.
Replacement hooker.
Stay up.
Again, no. Not without fight, are they? Huge commitment from the side promoted into the championship this season. Henderson now. Gulliver is there to make the tackle. Anders Nielsen. Commons. Ward. Extra his runners. In the end, it's popped under the hands of Brendan Burke. Vienendahl.
Hold blue, stay.
Bourgeois.
Okay, now.
Rather scuffed, and Von Seals is underneath it. Henderson. Lovely chip and gather himself from Andrew Henderson.
No.
Huge amounts of rugby in this Bedford Blues half, in this second half, just not able to break through. Singles who trying that dramatic.
They go blue.
Scoring a try 5 or so minutes ago. Whitcroft, it's knocked on. Vienendahl does a sensible thing and bangs it downfield and sends Ealing Trailfinders back.
Yeah, he found some good space back there and executed it well, didn't he? But
Henderson again.
Advantage over.
Chip for himself. Vienendahl can't take it. McLean can. He's looking to give the pass to Brunseals, but in the end, sensibly kept the ball himself. That's Hocking. Collins. Ben Ward looking for his forwards to take the ball up down the short side.
And this is what they must do, isn't it, into this win? And they've done it brilliantly now for 20 minutes, relentless round the corner, carry after carry after carry, and they deserve something out of this game, Ealing.
Nothing else for Ealing today. It proves that they can compete at this level. It was being questioned whether they could or not, having shipped so many tries, so many points in the opening 4 rounds, but they've got some real confidence from their outings, the first ever outings of the British and Irish Cup, and again showing here today at Goldington Road. They're not the walkover side that people were suggesting that they were. Beaten down now, needs the footballing skills and the pace. Henderson comes across and just bundles the ball. Although luckily it's a touch, and it will be a Bedford line-out.
Injury down here, Rowan.
Well, it's pretty relentless stuff, isn't it? From end to end. The Ealing guys look out on their feet. There's been some fantastic performances, you'd have to say, from both sides. I think Tom Wheatcroft from Ealing has been standout in terms of getting in the face and knocking guys down. Parpay carrying all day long. And from Bedford's perspective, Atkinson in the centre, 3 or 4 clean breaks and been part of everything, but there can only be...
Time is off. We're checking the tackle by blue 12. Sorry, what did you say?
The referee wanted to have another look at this.
If there is no penalty, who started it? Is there a blue
Took a bit of a knock.
Okay.
Back to look at the tackle from Mark Atkinson.
Dean,
yes.
Just confirm that the question was checking the tackle,
by
blue 12.
I believe it was blue 12.
Understood. Is that just before the ball went into touch?
Before the kick was kicked down the line.
Before the kick was kicked down the line.
Halfway line.
Understood. We're just having a look.
Okay, thank you.
Going back to look at how the ball ended up in Darren Veenendale's hands and the chip down the touchline. Mark Atkinson, the man in the dock. Jury out.
4.
It's the bourgeois, isn't it? It's not Mark Atkinson, he's well away. Certainly not that piece of play. That's the tackle we have been searching for. And by the letter of the law, Von Seals has been upended. His legs have gone above his head. He's landed on his shoulder, and that has to come into play from the television match official.
You're absolutely right, but you can see that he releases almost instantaneously the minute he feels that he's lifting his legs above his head. I don't think there's any malice in that at all. Now, I know the letter of the law says if he comes down it's a straight red. I'd love to see the referee.
Dean, you got me there?
Yes, Ron.
Got a report for you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There's no foul play.
Okay, thank you.
12.
Line up blue. Yeah. Okay, line up blue. Thank you. Thanks, Ron. No foul play.
And they're saying there's no foul play. And I know the letter of the law says that if he comes down on his head or on his shoulder that it's a straight red card, but I think that's absolutely the right call for the good of the game, Johnny. I know you're looking at me like I'm from Mars, but I really do think that that is the case.
Okay.
If you send someone off for that, it's not intentional, there's no one's hurt, there's no malice, the game carries on.
Just get this conversation on next break of play.
Move!
Wilkes. Ealing Trailfinders breaking away now through Sam Hocking. Been very impressive since he joined the W13 club. Ward now, the head coach, fires another pass out to Wheatcroft. Commons. Saunders.
Advantage.
Another penalty. Coming to Ealing, not releasing in the tackle. Henderson. Looks, he's strong on the ball, isn't he?
Not yet.
Bear of a man. Ward. Knew the penalty was coming. Not coming. The reason I was looking at it like that, Pat, was it depends where the player lands, whether it's on his head, shoulder or back, as to the severity of the card, whether it be red or yellow. That's all. Man of the match.
We're going to leave it there. Okay, man of the match, for me, is pretty easy. When you look at the actual material impact this guy has made during this game, he's been the difference between these two sides. Of 3 tries that were scored today, 3 came directly from that man's boot or hand. My IPA Green King man of the match is Jake Sharp.
Yeah, that kick across for Ollie Dodge in the first half, the first try of the game.
2 minutes, Dean.
Second Dodge try.
Blue, stay on the line.
Kick through for...
Get in, please, White.
The break, wasn't it, for Pritchard try.
Hold.
Looking like he's going to control the ship really well this season for Bedford, and looks like now that they will have their first win of the season and something to move on to.
Option blue. Scrum.
But they've had to battle hard for it, haven't they?
Inside 2 minutes.
Because Ealing have shown no signs of giving up. They've carried relentlessly. They've kept on battling away, and I think it would be very deserving for them if they were to get something out of this game. 1 minute, 20 seconds left.
That win against the Athletic
Crouch.
last week ended a 7-game losing run.
5.
Haven't won
Set.
since the semi-finals last season in the Championship.
Yes,
Bedford, and a team that have spent most of their Championship career right at the top of the table. We pleased ultimately to get the win and the bonus point as well. Fiendal once more though. So he's so good at sniping around. Tom Arms now. It's a really good run from the flanker. Almost up to that 22. Tupai still full of running. Scott Sperling knows his numbers out there. Barrel flicks it up, and it's Pritchard. And that is the Bedford Blues that we have come to love over the last few seasons.
Rory, can you hear me?
Fast, free-flowing rugby.
Got you there.
Can you just check the last pass in, please?
Yet,
time is off.
Again,
Check the last pass and just...
Dean Richards wants to just double-check. For me, it's a wonderful score from Pritchard and Bedford.
Yeah, real complete, wasn't it? Everybody involved from the 9 through to the back rowers. Well executed. Probably should have given that, Don Barrell. You'd done everything right up to that point, but it was a lovely offload to keep the ball alive there, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And a hat-trick for Dodge. Cuts inside, looks out, should have given it. He'd done enough there. That's a nice soft hands off the floor, and the grounding was good from Dodge.
Dean,
take that back, yes, Pritchard.
You may award the try.
Didn't think there was anything wrong with that. It was a classy looking try from James Pritchard. Lovely offload from Don Barrell. His second try, 2 for Dodge, 2 for Pritchard, and 1 Le Bourgeois. The back 3 just haven't been firing this season, and Mike Ray will be much happier though. All 5 tries coming from back 3 players.
Well, they've lost some key personnel, haven't they? But Pritchard, ever present, either with the boot or scoring tries today. He'll have the last say in this game, come what may.
Yeah, he swings it around. He's swung it around too much.
Dean, your time.
Thank you.
And that has put some real gloss on the score in a game that Ealing Trailfinders so huge amounts of character and pride, and some really good rugby at times from Ealing, but unable to bother the scoreboard in the second half of this game. 5 tries for Bedford, and they have finally recorded their first league win this season.
Yeah, and I think both sides will take an awful lot from this today. Ealing know that they can compete. They're fantastic today. They never gave up. looked defensively far more organised and got over the whitewash. But for Bedford, maybe this will launch their season. Ever present in the playoffs. We saw the Bedford of old today scoring 5 tries, and they'll be happy with that, and they march on. Next week, a huge one for Ealing.
The Blues win their first championship game since the semi-finals last season. Mike Rea said to me in the week, this game could not come quick enough, and he was right. Is this the launch plan? Bedford needed to get back to where they have spent the last 4-5 seasons, the top end of the championship table. Man of the match, Jake Sharp, is ready to speak to Bill.
Johnny, thank you. Jake, great win. Is that a relief?
Yeah, I think for us, you know, it's been a bit of a tough start for us. The win last week was good in the B&I Cup. For us today, it was about the 5 points. We've got Nottingham away next week, that'll be the key as well. But this week, it's just focused on just get the win. We showed some really good bits, but we're still not in top gear yet. But we'll get there. We're happy with that win.
We know Bedford can score tries. You've already had 2 games where you scored 4 tries but lost. So what was the difference today from those earlier 4 games? I
think it's just a bit of pressure in terms of the last few games of losing. It's just, you know, it starts to build a bit of doubt in your mind. And this week, sort of, with a bit of refresh, spoke as sort of the team leaders and just said, look, let's just go into this game and be confident in what we do. And that's what we did today, and we showed it. And I think that's a testament to the scoreboard and the way the lads performed.
So was there tension building before this game?
Yeah, of course. Not in terms of actually, you know, from Mike Rea or anyone, but just in terms of, you know, you're aware of it. You're aware of the scoreboard. Everyone keeps track of it. Everyone keeps the track of the table. But for us, you know, we're happy now. We've got the win, and we'll just hopefully build from here.
Great win, Jake. You are the Green King IPA Man of the Match. Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, well done, Jake Sharp. Well done, Bedford. They have got that win, and it's very much a foundation stone for them to push on, you would imagine, for the rest of the season. It's a bonus point victory for them as well. Just to let you know, it was a bonus point win for Andy Robinson's men at the Memorial this afternoon. They have beaten Nottingham by 33 points to 18. 3 away wins got us up and running this weekend. Rotherham narrowly at London Scottish, Plymouth Albion narrowly at Jersey. Leeds Carnegie collected all 5 match points from their trip to Billsley Common, and London Welsh picked up all 5 match points from their game with the Cornish Pirates. 41-6 the final score at the Kassam Stadium. 5 tries to Justin Burnell's men, and it is they who sit atop the Green King IPA Championship table after 5 rounds. They're the only unbeaten side as well. Rotherham in second, Bristol up to third after their win this afternoon. Leeds Carnegie in that other playoff spot, but the Pirates, Scottish and Albion all lurking there or thereabouts. Bedford up from 10th to 8th off the back of their victory this afternoon, and it is the Ealing Trailfinders who are the only side yet to register a point this season. But you have to say, they will be very pleased with their efforts this afternoon. And from the bottom of the championship to the top of the international game next week, the autumn internationals are underway. The clubhouse having been buffeted by the winds out there all afternoon. And in terms of the performance, how many questions have Bedford answered today, do you think, with that?
I think the result probably flattered to deceive a little bit. I think that, you know, they've scored 5 tries out there today. A lot of backs tries, and to be fair to them, given the conditions, they played some really nice stuff. Ironically, given that Bedford were comfortable in victory at the end, I think both teams will be relatively happy coming out of it, because they've actually laid some foundations to build upon.
Yeah. What about Ealing?
Yeah, I think they'll be delighted they came and were very competitive. There were opportunities where they might have taken some points. They might have a look at their tactics in terms of if that situation arises again. But they were pounding the line late on. They had a real chance of scoring and trying to come away with some points. I thought that in the end the scoreline probably flattered Bedford a little bit come the end. But they've got 2 home games coming up on the back of this, and I think this will give them some confidence going into that they can compete in this level. They are 5 from 5 losses, but 2 home games now gives them a real chance to get their teeth into this league.
OK, we will hopefully get some reaction for you from Mike Rea in a few moments' time. We'll have a look at the tries as well, but this was actually the first meeting between these two for 92 years, and in the end it has gone Bedford's way, but my word, they know they've been in a game this afternoon. Ealing giving a good account of themselves, their first season in the Championship, of course, and they are making progress, it would seem, but Bedford have got the win and all 5 points.